Let's wait for a couple other people to join here. Very nice, very nice. Heading to the bar on a Tuesday. Wish I was. Okay. The new guy's the old guy. We've been doing this together. Oh, me? Just cocoa butter. Keeps your skin soft. Where is he? It has been a long time. Too long. Keith and Joe have been super busy, unfortunately, so decided we needed to do at least a technical update. I haven't been so active on Discord just because I've been trying to focus on getting development done. So, got a lot of things to talk about tonight. Sorry, just trying to get the co-host on the line here. Disorganized as usual.
Hey, Sean.
Hey. Hey.
So
All right, so the co-host is having some technical difficulties, so I'm going to proceed with our list for now because I don't want to postpone it again. We've delayed this quite a bit, but he may join us later. So there is a lot of things on my list here. Proof of storage. So I've had a lot of discussions with people about proof of storage, how we're going to implement it, what there's clearly a desire to do it. We believe that this is a great use case. A lot of Chia refugees are out there. I've been reviewing the different decentralized storage platforms and the pricing and everything to make sure that there's a good ROI. It looks like there's a good use case for this kind of thing. So basically, I'm going to implement this as 3 different tiers. There will be a storage provider, somebody who has a whole lot of hard drives and a computer, and you can provision space on that drive. Say, I'm going to reserve 2 terabytes of space to rent out. And you will be able to make that space available on chain for a price. So you just say, I'm going to make 2 terabytes available for $10 a month or whatever it is. And that will be basically advertised through a contract. And if somebody then picks up that contract, you'll get paid your $10 a month on chain. The second player in the ecosystem is going to be like a data storage aggregator. So there will be people who will gather up all the providers and offer blocks of storage in a redundant way. And this is sort of like a gateway that offers essentially a 4-way mirror RAID 5. So it'll be 24 drives per storage provider, if you will. I think that gives us enough redundancy. We may add like 1 or 2 hot spares as well, but that's the gist of it. So there will be this intermediary that goes and contracts with all the different providers, and then this intermediary will work to sell their storage through different mediums. So you'll be able to say have an iSCSI interface if I want to map a drive directly, an NFS interface if I'm on Linux and I just want a blob of storage. An SMB interface if I want to have a Windows share, an S3 type interface if I want to do Amazon type archiving, and then finally I'll call it a Dropbox consumer kind of interface, such that you'll be able to offer to consumers the ability to save their family photos or whatever else. And all of those fees will be collected by the data storage provider and remitted on chain to the data storage to the people who put their hard drives on. Yeah, I'm not sure about the price. We'll have to see what the price is, but that's the gist of what I'm working on. We were able to get Dr. Amine.
Hello there.
We made it.
Am I coming through okay?
Yep.
All right. Technical difficulties resolved.
Yeah. So I just went through the whole proof of storage paradigm, how we're going to hopefully help people to recoup some of their losses from Chia.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the key design element from a technical standpoint is that I'm going to leverage a lot of existing technologies because doing things like rewriting drivers, iSCSI drivers or SMB shares or all those kinds of things doesn't make any sense. So I'm pretty familiar with a product that does a lot of these things, an open source product. And so I'm looking to use that, but then obviously integrate it with the chain through contracts. So that's the part that I've been experimenting with now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So if that's everything on proof of storage, what do we have on proof of stake at the moment?
So proof of stake, I think we're still trying to work out the economics, and it's a little bit hard for me to to start the development on that until we come to a consensus on that. And one of the things I've been thinking about is implementing on-chain voting before we implement the smart contracts. I can implement limited purpose smart contracts only for voting. I already have like the thoughts on how to make sure that people can't double spend and all those, only vote on, topics that are open for voting, like you can't have retroactive votes, stuff like that. So I have that pretty much well worked out. So I may create like a hard-coded smart contract that'll allow for voting, and then we'll just take a vote because I think it's hard to resolve in Discord. There's just a lot of different opinions, and I think we do need to make a vote. So
yeah, I totally agree. And the only way to have it be fair is one vote per coin, and have it be anonymous, and and count it that way. There isn't a fair way really to do it in Discord and have it accurately measure investment and ownership and things like that. So when you create on-chain voting, what would the interface be, do you think, for casting votes and such?
The web wallet.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, good. Roughly how long do you think it would take to get that going?
So the on-chain voting mechanism on the chain is pretty simple. It's really just a few hours of work. More the UI. So having a ballot that's proposed, and then being able to only display ballots that are valid for a time frame, and selecting a ballot, displaying the votes, like all those things are what make it hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And would casting a vote essentially be like performing a small transaction?
Yes, you send your coins to a contract address, and that contract then consumes those coins and echoes them back to you, minus the transaction fee, 10,000 satoshis or whatever it is. So right now it's fairly de minimis. But yeah, basically you can just send your coins, and the contract tallies it up, and whichever address gets the most coins within a certain time frame, that's the result of the vote.
Okay, well, good.
Does it mean moving a balance? No, I'm sorry. So let me clarify that. You can transmit coins from any address to the contract, but you would not be able to see the results or whatever's on the ballot or anything else. The web wallet is my proposed interface for where people can see what the ballot is, what the current votes are, that kind of stuff. But any address could send to the contract.
So for people that have balances in multiple under multiple addresses, they would have to vote one time per address they hold if they wanted to use all their coins in the vote. Okay.
Yeah, like if I have some on an exchange and I have some in QT and some in the web wallet, you'd have to do 3 transactions.
Yep. Great.
And then the contract basically just echoes back whatever coins were sent, less the gas fee.
Mm-hmm. And a couple of ETH or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's the latest on the NFT Marketplace?
We have 3 designs that were out there. I think we finally got solidified on what the one of the UIs. Actually, let me make a note. I want to just put that out to the Discord community for just thoughts, just to see what people think about the one that we picked. We have 2 developers that are basically ready to start on it. So I think once we just got to pick this template, and then we're ready to go.
Yeah. The theme I saw, I thought looked pretty good, but anything that's basically going to be easy to use, I think, is the key, and a nice interface. So are we thinking maybe a couple of months out or something like that? Or
Yeah, so I think this, this is going to be the same sort of paradigm that I've done with the other projects where, I'll incubate the base technology. We'll create, an open source template that other people can use. And then I hope that, somebody in the community comes and picks it up and says, hey, I want to run an NFT market, because I don't want to run an NFT marketplace, right? So, this is more for people to be able to see a proof of concept and then run with it as a third-party vendor. So, hopefully somebody will come in and say, we'll do I don't know, automobile or, whatever, any kind of themed thing that they want to do as a specific marketplace, and they'll pick up the thing, and again, we'll help them incubate it, and we'll help them develop it and answer questions, and do technology support for it. But we don't want to be in the business of running it. So
anything but you running NFT3 would be okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Good. Then let's see what's next. The enhanced web wallet. What's the status on that?
So we had some initial development. It looked very nice. One of the community members is working with that. I did pass a JavaScript resource off to that person, and I think we just need to follow back with them to see what the current status is. It was coming. They had quite a few pages that were already redesigned. It looked very nice.
Yeah, I saw it too. I agree. It looks very clean and professional. And
yeah.
And does that already have? Is that going to have an interface for handling NFTs in it?
Yes. So there
down the road.
Yeah, there is already the NFT interface in the existing web wallet.
Oh, in the existing one. Okay.
Yep. So
right.
I think that we'll just we'll hook up that same stuff and make it better. I mean, it was a little bit clunky how you have to create NFTs in that wallet. So I think we'll enhance that with this current interface.
Right. Yeah. Make sure I'm not missing any questions here. Doesn't look like it. Okay. What's the latest on the fix for the YIMP stratum? So
we paid a developer about $8,000 to write the YIMP interface and an associated miner. There are a couple of issues with that. One is that it incorrectly flags duplicate shares. This doesn't really impact the overall performance of a miner. It just doesn't count additional shares that you might have otherwise been valid. And this is a bug in the way that they pass the time. So normally you're able to put the time in your own header. In this case, the stratum passes the time to it, and then it marks everything with the same time that you submit as a dupe. So you can submit the first one, it's fine, but then any subsequent ones you submit are dupes. So we need to keep a list of the nunces that are submitted and only flag true dupes, because we don't want somebody say, oh, I found a nunce, let me just submit that 100 times and get a share credit for that one. It has to be unique. And so you need to keep a list, and that's typically how it's done. So that's a problem. The other thing is they should be using the extra nunts so that we're spreading out the hashes more. So you'll find, like, if you run several miners on Let's Hash versus Zerg, they won't get as many shares because they're all working off the same time instead of having an extra nunts doled out. So I'll also be adding the extra nunts as part of the parameter and modifying the miner for that. The other issue is that it has it's incorrectly flagging low difficulty shares, and this is again another bug in the stratum, and it also has to do with the time. It's the time again is just being doled out incorrectly, and so when the miner submits back a valid share, it's actually calling it low difficulty when it's not. So I know all the fixes for it. I don't have enough technical knowledge on YIMP to set it up in the environment, but somebody in the community has, and I'll be working with them. I was hoping yesterday, but I ran out of gas. I got a little bit too late. So maybe tonight or tomorrow night. I'm working on Total Mayhem tonight. So
sure.
Probably be tomorrow night. I'll work on that.
Okay, so for this stratum issue, that would affect not only GPU mining but CPU mining as well. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Anybody that mines against the pool.
Yep. Okay.
Doesn't affect total mining in any way because that's just.
Do you have any rough idea in mind as to what kind of like percentage improvement any given miner would see with these issues fixed?
So when I was running two RX 580s, which was like 80 something kilohash, I would get maybe like 1 or 2 duplicates per block. So it would be, 2 or 3 times better for me, as an example. I didn't get any low hash blocks, but I think maybe because my hash rate was so low. So it may, maybe 3 times more shares. I can't say that those pools will find 3 times more blocks necessarily.
Yes. Okay. Okay, but a notable improvement as far as efficiency.
Well, I'm not even sure I would say efficiency because, the coin emission schedule isn't going to change. It's the same number of coins being issued, in any given hour, let's say. And everyone who's mining against the pool is at the same relative disadvantage. So I guess if you're solo mining, this may impact solo miners a bit because pools will become more efficient. Let's say it that way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, if the hash did go up, the diff would go up, so it really wouldn't affect anybody in the big picture. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good. Miner client status. What is that?
Yeah, we've had a lot of discussion about what's the current miner version, what's the best one, and I've kind of steered clear of that for a little bit. I was going to put out 2.06, and then some people said 2.05 was better. So I think I'm going to fix the YIMP stratum first, and then I'll publish a miner that works with that, so that there's no more low difficulty and no more duplicates. And I think that should kind of clear the air about what the current version is. So, and I know that some people have published other versions, which is great. And so I guess I wanted to sort of just directly address that I'm not going to publish 2.06, anytime soon. I'm going to build I'm going to fix the stratum stuff and then publish some version. Maybe we'll call it 2.2 just to clear all the version mess out.
There's already a 2.06 though, right?
There is, but it's, I had said this is strictly developmental. It was some stuff I was messing around with to try to enhance the NVIDIA efficiency, which that too, we never really came to a consensus that Cuda was going to solve that. I know that CDM has been discussing Cuda Enhancement with a contractor that we found on Upwork, and he's been kind of evaluating it to see if it's even possible. I think that's still ongoing. So, yeah.
So he's looking to see what's possible at this point, and then after the stratum gets fixed, we will try to iron out what the best version is, and just have that be what's on GitHub for everyone.
Yep.
Okay. Great. Well, let's move to ISLA trials. What's the latest there?
Yep. So I haven't touched that for a couple of weeks now, and I am getting back to that. I've been working very heavily, and we'll talk a little bit at Total Mayhem a little bit later. But I've been spending a lot of time on Total Mayhem, probably too much time, and so I'm going to get back to focusing on that. We had interest from 3 other board members about funding development for that. Probably put $10,000 or $15,000 into it just to get a couple of Unreal Engine guys on it for like 6 weeks or so, just to get us to a proof of concept stage. And so I'm gonna be focusing on that this week and hopefully post some more updates about that. But I'm gonna start focusing on that.
Okay, great. Metaverse proof of concept. That's that kind of lobby you had built, right? That was in a cartoonish kind of a downtown game world.
Yep.
Okay.
So the enhancement that I have planned for that is to put a store interior, and I've just been evaluating some of the assets that are by that company, Cinti, which is the one that had that asset pack. We need to have like shelves or something like that. And there's two things we're looking at. One is creating like a virtual NFT marketplace so that you can view NFTs for sale, perhaps hanging on the wall in an art gallery or something like that, or perhaps sitting on shelves and actually sort of virtually pick up a frame and spin it around and have some kind of semi-physical, virtual physical interface with it. So that's one of the things that's planned. And the other thing is we talked about marketing virtual goods. So one of the board members has a pretty deep financial ties to, or business ties to, the retail sector. And we had talked about having a proof of concept to demonstrate to retailers of being able to view goods on a shelf and do like a virtual checkout where you kind of take it off the shelf and put it in your cart. And one of the things that we thought was interesting was there would be like an Easter egg kind of thing. And so you would have to like hunt all around the store to go find this special deal or something like that. So it kind of forces people who come into the space to try to, to see everything and, perhaps impulse buy or whatever else. So that's another thing that we have in the works. But
That's great.
Yeah.
I think real world, I've seen people do that in Trader Joe's before. It looks pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
All right.
That's kind of markets. Yep.
Great. Okay. Well, then let's get to Toadal Mayhem. I know a lot of people are interested in hearing what the latest on that is.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. The person that I've partnered with is a professional game developer. They have products published on the PlayStation Store. They have deals with Paramount for licensing and all kinds of other things. And one of the things that that never really struck me about working with a I'll call it a AAA game studio, which is essentially what these guys do, is that when you're building a game like that, they view it as building a movie. There's a big release, right? It's not like when you're making a movie, they show you 2 or 3 scenes, right? Like here's or they give you the scripts, right? They don't release anything until the day. And so AAA titles are very similar, right? Like if you think about Halo that just came out, right? Like they didn't really have anything. You don't get to read the story before it comes out. You don't get to really see the characters, although I guess what Master Chief is going to look like. But you don't get to see what the new mechanics are. All that stuff is very, very tightly controlled and under NDAs and all kinds of other stuff, right?
Yeah, often for like years.
But yeah, right. Like Cyberpunk, you had no idea, right? Like they didn't release anything for 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when you think about the way crypto works, it's very iterative, right? You kind of throw something up on the wall and you see what sticks, and it's kind of half broken, and it looks kind of goofy, and there's always going to be a version 2.0. It's much more like software, right? It's not a movie. It's not a AAA game. And I think that there's going to be this constant friction between, when I hear somebody like Ubisoft saying they're going to, get into crypto gaming, I'm like, it just runs counter to everything that the company like that does. They want centralized control, NDAs, all that kind of stuff, like monolithic development, not small teams, not community input, right? Like to me, I want to release every model that we have and every little demo that we're working on. And, we have all these little cool ideas that we're throwing around behind the scenes and these little mock, mock videos. We've got, I don't know, probably an hour's worth of different footage of sample gameplay and everything else. And I'm like, we should be putting this out. And the person that I'm partnered with is like, no, like everything has to come out perfect at once. And so that's why there's just been like, from me, no progress. There's just this constant friction about what we can give out.
But there actually has been a lot of progress. It's just that you're not showing so much of it.
I just can't show it, right? Yep. And look, I'm 50% partner in this, right? So I should have a say, but it's a little bit difficult navigating, just navigating the relationship. So yes, I have like a nearly playable demo already in Unreal Engine. It's you can battle characters together. It shows hit point bars dynamically adjusting and special effects. We have I don't know, 40 or 50 different animations of the 5 variations of the characters. To me, it all looks great. And I would love to be sharing this every step of the way. But again, because of the way that this development cycle is going, it's
right.
It's just.
Can you talk any numbers, like how many toads have been minted or generated so far, and how far we might be away from getting to see a little trailer?
So we have 5 different designs of the toads, and those are represented both as trading cards, which will be the NFTs that people purchase, which represent playable items in the game, and then as actual 2D models that are animated. And so there's 5 different variations which have different abilities and kind of like different elemental stats, if you will. Like there's like sludge and wind and shock, that kind of thing. And then each one of them has seven different animations, plus a bunch of special effects. So there's like an attack, an ability, an ultimate, when they get hit, when they get damaged, when they die, when they get resurrected, all those kinds of things. So, it's quite a few variations. I mean, we've been working on it for literally like 2 months. So it's a lot of pieces of the puzzle are all in place. It's just, I get 2 or 3 emails a day about use this animation, use that, like make this, add this effect. It's like, it's just this, all these nuances. And it's just me right now. Finding Unreal Engine talent is super hard. It's really, really hard. So I would love to hire to do this thing. And we have been trying to recruit, but it's tough. So, yeah.
Right. So do you think we're still going to have pre-sale sooner than later, or?
Yeah. I've had a couple of conversations, with my partner, and I'm like, dude, we just gotta, we gotta do something. So, I'm starting to put my foot down and say, look, even though the animation is not perfect, we're gonna, we gotta go with it. So, because all the cards are ready to be minted. I have a minting machine, if you will, that generates the random cards automatically. It has all the different combinations of abilities, all the percentages that we talked about are all built into that. So the ultimates are rare and all that kind of stuff. That part of creating all the card graphics is all ready to go. It's just, getting these last little bits of the explosion animation, or when the character gets hit, there's this little pow that happens, and the number has to go up, and it has to be black with a red outline, and it has to be this size, and
It's amazing how many details there are in a what most people might think of as just a simple little game like that. It's really not that simple when you look at all the little parts and pieces that are working together. Yeah.
Although for me, doing all we're trying to do is get to a demo trailer, just a 90-second show off reel, and to me, like, if the number doesn't have a red outline around it, I don't think anybody's going to see in a 90-second demo thing, right? Like, he has these ideas that he's going to go to, other investors. Like, he's talking about putting it on, PlayStation Store and Xbox Store, and making it a paid game as well. So, there's still a little bit of a disconnect.
It could certainly be a not final demonstration. You see plenty of games that show some early footage where they have disclaimers saying not final, and
all that kind of stuff. I mean, but again, he's got this triple mindset because that's what he does, right?
Right.
These
he's used to not releasing anything until it's perfect and done. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So then, what about the text MMO?
Yeah, I think we need to do a follow up on that. I have a couple of items that I need to program on that, but yeah, I think we need to just update the status. We have four or five people in a group that are that I passed it off to. I'm happy to give the technical support to do it. I know that some people are working on the narrative already and creating the items, and they have access to the database. I created a test server. There's a test Discord group that has all of us in it. So yeah, I think that needs a little bit of management.
Right. Yeah. There's active writing being done, and the map, it's all being mapped out, the world, so to speak. And good progress has been made there. And yeah, I think you're right. Just a little bit of some programming needs to be done for a couple of features that have been created for what the story is going to be and what some of the actions might be. But good, let's come along. All right.
Yeah, I know. I did pass off. I had this campaign cartographer, I think was the name of the program that I gave to one of the people. So I don't know if he's created any of it. That would be that would be cool to share any of the interim maps.
Yeah. I honestly don't know if that is the program that I saw was being used, but there is something, it may well be that one. And yeah, there probably would be things to show. Yeah, we'll have to pull that together and do that next time.
Yeah, it'd be fun. We definitely want to release. I'm completely happy to release work in progress. So.
Right. All right, the new foundation website.
Yeah. It's looking
you want
pretty
me to
good.
talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, basically, I believe that people will get to see the new website by the end of this week. If we can, I don't know exactly how we're going to time it with DNS propagation and all that, but I think we're aiming for Friday night maybe, or Friday afternoon. And it should be pretty exciting. I can't wait to see what people think. We put quite a bit of time and effort into it, and I think it'll be a significant improvement and make us look a bit more professional.
Yeah. The SSL certificate is by Let's Encrypt. It'll be almost immediate. So
they're real fast. I've seen like 5 to 10 minutes with them. Yeah, excellent.
So that'll be that. I could do that tomorrow, and then I think we just go live whenever. So
super.
Yeah.
All right. The Tech Incubator program. I'm sure you'd like to get some extra things started and free up some. Yeah. I think I've got lots of ideas that I'm throwing out there about proof of storage and on-chain voting and smart contracts and these games. Games are sort of near and dear to my heart. That's kind of my passion. But I'm sure that there's lots of other things that people would love to do with Dynamo that that maybe they just need a little bit of technical help with. So I'd like to figure out how we frame an incubator program. Is it a hackathon? Is it a grant? Is it an application process? We talked a little bit about it a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't want to let that fall off the radar. I really want to make technical expertise and funds available to people who want to build something. So, I'd like to solidify that a little bit. I have some ideas, but I think maybe if the community can come up with some things as well, that would be good. Okay, excellent. And then lastly on the list is the scholarship program.
Yeah, we talked about this in the board in December, and I think it's time to try to solidify some of this. One of the core missions of the foundation is to increase education about technology and particularly about blockchain, but focused on perhaps people who are less fortunate, who don't have access to good technology education, and so I don't exactly know how to do this. I haven't thought a lot about this, but I would like to also start to gather, community input on, where should we put some funds into doing some kind of, I vision as like a primary school scholarship sponsoring, low-income families to be able to attend a technologically oriented school. But that's just my idea. I'm open to suggestions and community input. So, but I think that's something, that's part of our core mission. We, half of the block reward that goes to the foundation is supposed to be for charity. And as part of the white, that's in the white paper. That's one of the core missions. So I think it's we're getting close to the point where we need to at least have a statement about that and maybe try to fund something for this coming fall.
Right. That certainly sounds good and makes plenty of sense. Plus, I think that's a worthwhile direction to go with, with how to spend some of those funds. I certainly think education is key, and giving people the tools to, to do better things. Wonderful.
Yep.
Well, we made it through our list, and I guess we weren't any longer than last time. So
yeah. Not too many questions. I didn't see any big questions or anything. So
I do remember one that I think we missed about wallets. Let me go back real quick. Here we go. Dallas was asking, I think this is about voting. Could it be potentially problematic trying to send all the coins versus just a small transaction that would point to the source wallet?
So something like validating your balance. So my anti-double spend design, if you will, is that it looks at coins with a UTXO that's got a timestamp, before X. So let's say that we say voting on if we're going to change the color of our logo from blue to red starts next Tuesday, right? Any unspent output that has a timestamp before next Tuesday will be eligible to vote, right? And because as soon as you spend it and it goes to the contract and gets sent back to you, the timestamp's updated, right? So it's impossible to send it to your friends and have them vote for you because then the timestamp updates, right? It completely eliminates any possibility of double voting. So I'm not sure how I would do a pointer to something or a validation of something, because there's always this ability to just transfer your coins to somebody else and have them vote for you too. So I'm not sure. But I guess I'm also not sure what the concern would be, because you're just echoing the coins back. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like send me 10 and I'll send you 20 back.
Yeah. Helium uses a burn transaction for voting. I don't know if Helium's a UTXO. I'll be happy to review it though.
Yeah, their voting system is pretty slick. I know that much. I don't know what's behind the scenes on it, but I participated in it once, and I was very impressed with how easy it was.
If in an account-based system like Ethereum, it's very easy, right? Because they just have smart contracts, and you can validate. You can do all those kinds of sophisticated things that you want to be able to do for voting. In a UTXO-based system like us, it's a little bit different.
So we're basically just limited because you're initially thinking of making specifically just supporting on-chain voting without full smart contract support yet.
Yep.
So okay.
Yeah, if we did smart contracts up front, then we could do the same thing, because when I do smart contracts, that is going to create I'll call it like a shadow version of the chain, which is the account balance. And so then we'll be sort of like a hybrid of Ethereum and Bitcoin, where there will be two states. There's going to be the UTXO state and the account state. Right. And so then you can kind of have this, then you can have all of those kinds of transaction-based things that you can't have with the UTXO.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, I think, go ahead.
I will check it out. Fees. Yeah. Fees should not be an issue. If, the only issue would be if you have like a lot of accumulated UTXOs. So, like the foundation wallet has 0.1 or actually 2.05s, right, per block. And so I have to go clean the wallet up every 2 weeks because there's thousands of transactions there. And that typically costs, quote unquote, a bunch of Dynamo, because I have to make these gigantic blocks with tons and tons of transactions. So yes, if you have lots of UTXOs and they need to be combined in order to vote all of them at once, you're going to pay a little bit more. I tend to pay like 0.03 Dynamo to send about 50 Dynamo when I'm doing the consolidation piece. So it's still, fractions of a percentage, but yes, it might be a concern.
Should that minimum transaction fee be maybe lowered at some point?
Yeah, we would all kind of have to agree to modify our dynamo.conf files. The min relay fee is set by default in Bitcoin Core to be 10,000 Satoshis, 0.0001. So we could just modify the code to make it be 10 Satoshis or something.
At a certain point, I could also just see down the road, when it's more valuable, that the fee would probably be a little expensive later on, as it currently is the minimum. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if the coin is $50-$60, then it starts to kind of add up into the Ethereum, $8.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to completely avoid.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if we could modify the min relay fee. That's really all it is. It's the Bitcoin default min relay fee. And they did that mostly to avoid what they call dusting, which is like sending tons and tons of outputs to somebody so that they're forced to aggregate or re-aggregate their wallet. And what people will do is to try to find out somebody's identity. They'll just send a ton of small transactions to them. And then they'll be forced to clean up by sending those somewhere else, and then you can watch the chain looking for their IP address and try to figure out like who's cleaning up their wallet. So it's more of like a doxing kind of thing. I'm not sure that we're so worried about that right now.
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, plus somebody could also just run Tor on their node.
Yeah. And our version of full node, the BTC 0.21, supports Tor natively. So you can basically put a switch on. It'll use a Tor for relay.
So the switch isn't on when you install it. You have to turn it on after installing.
Well, you have to also configure a Tor exit point.
Gotcha. All right.
Yep.
Well, I think that probably, let's see. I think that pretty much wraps it up for tonight.
Burning transfer, 1559. No. Oh, we just got away from that. I mean, if you guys want to do it, I'll do it, but I don't want to. Yeah. Okay. What is it? Proof of storage? No, I have not considered using proof of storage for NFTs. I fundamentally feel those are different, but of course, anybody would be, able to store an NFT of just a link to our own storage, right? Just like they do with IPFS. But I feel one of the one of the values of the storing NFT data on chain, so to speak. I mean, I know it's a layer 2 kind of storage, but that it eliminates the ability for them to get lost, basically. So I still like the core promise of NFTs, like never disappearing, just because an S3 link gets deleted. But yeah, I don't know. I'm open.
I like that too. Maybe a twist to that would be for somebody who wanted to have an NFT that was going to be much larger as far as storage requirements. Where if somebody was going to have like a 8K resolution video clip or something that's using a couple hundred megabytes or a couple of gigs, it might start to make more sense for that type of a case.
Of course, yeah. Actually, that brings up an interesting use case that I was thinking about. There's something called Movie Coin or something like that, and they're trying to get people to be able to invest in production of movies, and then trying to figure out like how to do the distribution. And I was thinking that would be like a really cool use case for us if we have smart contracts linked to storage, so that you could like essentially buy a streaming version of some movie or something like that. Yeah, I was thinking that would be a cool idea.
It would.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see any more questions. Let's end this before another one shows up.
Yep. And I will be back active on Discord, like next week after I gotta clear a couple of these projects off. We gotta make some progress on some stuff. So I am several people are watching for me. If anything goes horribly wrong, they are sending me emails or whatever. So it's not like I'm completely absent, but it's the problem is if I get on Discord, I'm going to sit there and chat for 4 hours, and I need to program for 4 hours. So
I'm sure everybody appreciates you getting stuff done. I'm sure they do, and they understand.
Yep. Cool.
All right. Thanks everyone for the good questions. Till next time.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.